What's going on, guys? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. Let you guys know that the St. Louis Cranidos have a brand new t-shirt design to celebrate the launch of the APA Little Cup season. This will be a limited time shirt, only available for the next 2 weeks. So if you want to snag one, you can grab it now. Really cool. We got the limited edition Cranidos tee with the awesome logo on it. We've got a couple different color options, as you can see here. You can get a black, you can get like kind of a cool gray, you get a nice like asphalt color. There's a nice purple, which I've always been a fan of, and it does come with a cool St. Louis Cranidos sticker as well. So if you want to snag one of those, they're available in the description below. Again, limited time only, and your support is greatly appreciated. Enjoy the draft breakdown. Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. But you guys a brand new video today talking about our St. Louis Cranidos, a brand new draft league team here for a brand new draft league format for Little Cup. The APA has started up a new season. If you guys don't remember, last season we played in the APA. We had a cool team with like Mega Houndoom and Torkoal, things like that. But they decided to bring back a Little Cup league, and I actually originally said that I wasn't gonna be in it. I declined to play, but one of the coaches dropped out, so I was willing to take their slot, despite the fact that things are a little crazy right now with the baby just being born. Things kind of got pushed back for the league. They pushed things back about 3 or 4 weeks actually, and I said, you know what, I could probably fit it in because P4G is almost over. We've only got 1 more week of that, so I'm okay with running 2 leagues at the same time. I just try not to overlap and have 3 generally. So I figured, you know what, let's give it a shot, man. The Little Cup league will be fun. We get to use a bunch of Little Cup Pokemon, and it should be a good time. So I'm gonna break down the team that we have here for the St. Louis Cranidos, and I should have like cool new t-shirts and all that good stuff if you haven't seen those yet, but there should be a little promo at the beginning of this video if all goes well. But nevertheless, man, cool logo. The Rampardos are back, but as the Cranidos, I thought it was fitting for the Little Cup league. A lot of the other teams kind of made their logos based on the Little Cup Pokemon, so I thought that was kind of neat. But yeah, man, hit that like button down below if you're excited for Little Cup, and show some love by subscribing, of course. I don't have a ton of experience in the Little Cup format, just being totally honest. I did do the UCL Little Cup season, and we actually went 7 wins and 1 loss, if I'm not mistaken, with a team that we didn't even draft. It was a randomized team. Everyone's team was randomized, and basically we went 7-1. We went to the championship and we lost to PokeAimMD. He was the only person we lost to, so I think we actually went like 5-0 and then playoffs and then championship or something like that. Either way, I think I was ultimately 7 wins 1 loss is how it all broke down, but we lost to PokeAim for the championship. So in my limited time playing Little Cup, I've actually done pretty well. But again, I don't really know the format too well, just being totally honest, because I've never really played it. But it'll be fun either way. I'm not going to take this league super duper incredibly seriously because it is Little Cup. It's very basic when it comes to like EV spreads and sets and stuff like that. Still going to try, still going to have fun, but I'm not going to like stress over it at all. It's just going to be kind of like bonus content and just something for fun. So just a disclaimer, I actually did not draft this team. I'm going to do a breakdown and kind of talk as if I drafted it, because I can kind of give some insight as to why it was drafted the way it was, but I did not draft the team. The team was actually drafted, and then 6-foot Hacks, or Leo, he ended up dropping out of the league. I guess he had some stuff come up or some personal reasons or whatever it may be, and they reached out to me and said, hey, like, do you want to take over Leo's team? And I said, let me take a look at it and let me see like the timeline and stuff. And when I saw his team, I was like, you know what, I actually really like this team, and I feel like it has a lot of elements of things that I personally would have drafted. So I said, you know what, let's give it a shot, man. What's the worst that happens? You know, we'll just have fun with it. So let's talk about the team, man. Like I said, I didn't draft it, but we can talk about it. The first Pokemon that we've got here is actually Mienfoo, and this is probably the main reason why I decided to take over the team. I believe Leo had the first pick overall, so Mienfoo is known for being one of the absolute best Pokemon in Little Cup. It's incredible because of its ability Regenerator, being able to heal itself up. Knockoff is such a great move, knocking off Eviolites and berries and things like that. It also gets U-turn. It can be a really good Choice Scarf user, Drain Punch for health, and it's just such a good Pokemon. And I remember when I played in the UCL Little Cup season, I actually had Mienfoo on my team as well, and it led my team in kills. I'm pretty sure it led the league in kills. I had like 18 kills with it and like 3 deaths in like 7 games, dude. It was insane. It was such a strong Pokemon, and I remember thinking back to that and saying to myself, like, I wish there was a Pokemon like Mienfoo in the higher tiers that ran the same way. And the closest thing I think is probably Tornadus. And you might say, well, what about Mienshao? But Mienshao doesn't have that bulk because of Eviolite. So Mienfoo gets so much bulk because of Eviolite in Little Cup. It makes it such a huge threat. So again, ultimately, if Leo hadn't drafted Mienfoo, I probably wouldn't have taken the team, to be honest. But when I saw Mienfoo, I was like, man, this thing was such an awesome Pokemon, my man Maruchan, back on the team, dude. It's gonna be sick. So I'm really excited about this thing, as I mentioned, for a number of reasons, but it's just such a good Pokemon, dude. So versatile and just so naturally bulky in the Little Cup tier. And it's one of the best Pokemon in the format, like in general, like in Little Cup. So Indisputable is a really, really good pick. So that was a good start for me and Leo. Then he decided to grab Doduo out of the B tier, and Doduo is really cool because flying type spam is one of the best things you can have in Draft League format generally, just because there's only like 2 or 3 resistances to it: Rock, Steel, and Electric, pretty much. And those Pokemon can be few and far between, especially in a limited format like Little Cup. So a Pokemon like Doduo, if you can remove those potential, you know, resistances, you can really put in a lot of work, and there's a lot of offensive synergy here between Mienfoo and Doduo. If you couldn't tell, you know, Doduo kind of stopped by those Rock and Steel types, and Mienfoo kind of destroys those with its fighting type moves. So really cool options there. Doduo does get Quick Attack, which is cool for priority. Mienfoo gets Fake Out, I didn't mention before. You know, Doduo can set up Swords Dances. It gets Jump Kick, Return, Brave Bird. That's pretty much your standard set. Nothing too crazy there. You might see like a Pursuit mixed in once in a while, but generally that's what you're going to see from Doduo, and it's got a great speed tier. It's a really fast Pokemon with a great attack stat for a Pokemon in Little Cup. So it hits really hard. You can pair it typically with a Berry Juice to kind of activate after your Brave Bird recoil. You can pair it with like a Life Orb or something more offensive there. Choice Scarf. Doduo is very good because it typically can come in late game and just click Brave Bird. So just a really cool Pokemon, and offensive synergy with Mienfoo is really good. The next pick was actually Mudbray, and Mudbray is actually looked at as being one of the best Little Cup Pokemon as well, because of its ability to set up Stealth Rocks effectively, and it's got incredible base stats for a not fully evolved Pokemon. I believe its defense stat is like base 100. It's like really high for a not fully evolved, and it's, like I said, very reliable Stealth Rock user. Really cool options with Earthquake, Rock Slide, Heavy Slam, just because of its good weight, so it can take on fairy types relatively well. And overall, Mudbray is just a really strong Pokemon in this format because Earthquake spam is so good. And again, you can kind of see the offensive synergy. Leo is a tremendous player, so it's not like I'm taking over someone who doesn't know what they're doing. Leo drafted a phenomenal team here. So Mudbray, again, like we were talking about before, those Rock, Steel, and Electric types that Doduo struggles with, Mudbray really handles well. So just really good synergy there between those 3 Pokemon offensively, and there's a good amount of bulk in between these 2 or 3 as well, with Mienfoo and Mudbray having a good amount of bulk, and Mudbray providing just a phenomenal Stealth Rocker and a great ability in Stamina. Stamina being able to boost your defense stat after being hit by an attack makes it really difficult to take down, especially in Little Cup where you can activate Berry Juice and things like that to kind of increase your longevity. The next Pokemon he grabbed was Omanite, and Lord Helix is here, man. And one of the other reasons why I decided to grab this team was because of Lord Helix. Lord Helix here, of course, is one of the most versatile Pokemon in Little Cup, which I really like. It has a couple viable sets, one of which is the Hazard stacking set. So Spikes, Stealth Rock, T-Spikes, with weak armor, being able to set up those hazards early game. If your opponent doesn't really have a reliable way to stop those hazards, you can really make an impact with those. And while hazards, I think, aren't as super important in Little Cup, they are pretty viable, especially when you're dealing with Pokemon that have, you know, flying typing and stuff like that. So T-Spikes aren't as good, but you just typically set 1 layer and so on and so forth. So I really felt like Omanite was good in that set. But Omanite's real bread and butter, in my opinion, is the Shell Smashing set. The fact that it can click Shell Smash, it's got such good stats, dude. Special attack is insane, its defense is insane, for Little Cup anyway, base-wise, and you just click Shell Smash, and if you can do that, you can typically destroy a lot of Pokemon. You know, and it's pretty... In my opinion, it's pretty easy to get the Shell Smash up, just because it's so naturally bulky, and you can run Eviolite, or you can kind of run some sort of, you know, support team to kind of allow that Omanite to come in. So it's multifaceted. It can, like I said, perform a number of different roles, which I really value with Omanite here. So pretty cool stuff. We got Budew next, and Budew's really cool. I will tell you right now that I did trade Budew in free agency. When I was given the team, I could make any free agent moves that I wanted to before week 1. So I did switch out Budew, and I actually grabbed Phantump. And the reason for that is I'm not really going to talk to Budew because, again, I didn't really keep it. I got Phantump instead. So Phantump I decided to grab because it's a ghost typing, which I think is really cool. It's a spin blocker. Again, I have that Omanite, which has really good hazard stacking potential. But I really like the fact that Phantump has 3 really cool abilities in Frisk, Harvest, and Natural Cure. It gives me a status absorber, which I think the team really values, and it also gives me a Harvest Pokemon, which I think is super cool when it comes to berries in this format. Berry Juice, getting that Harvest. I don't actually know if Berry Juice counts as a berry, but either way, like citrus berries or ranberries, whatever it may be, being able to harvest them up or whatever, like type resistant berries, things like that. And then again, Frisk is really cool too to kind of determine items. I love its ability to Will-O-Wisp. I love the fact that it's a grass type that has a ground resist, which my team previously didn't have. Like, The Buddy is really cool, but it doesn't have a resistance to ground. And you'll see I have a different poison type. So I didn't really feel like I needed the hazards that Buddy offered, and I felt like Phantom was just a better overall pick for what I wanted. So that was kind of my logic there. So I'm excited to have Phantom. I really like the Pokemon anyway. It's a cool design, and I think it'll fit the team a little bit better than Buddy. But Buddy's really good. I just really felt like Phantom kind of fit more what I was going for. Stunky was the next pick, and I thought this was a really good pick. Stunky's actually really fast in Little Cup, which is pretty valuable. One of the things it does do is remove hazards with defog, something the team really lacks otherwise is a reliable defogger. Unfortunately, it doesn't get Poison Jab. It has to run Sludge Bomb, which is really annoying, but it does get Pursuit, Crunch, Sucker Punch, things like that. Excuse me, which are very valuable. Dealing with Psychic types and stuff like that, being able to trap them. Pokemon like Ghastly are really rampant in this tier, so being able to stop those Pokemon are really cool. It's good. It's got a cool different couple move sets. It does get Memento, which I really like, and again, its hazard removing properties are one of the main things. It's also one of my ways to kind of stop Fairy types. I think that was probably one of the ideas for the Buddy was a secondary way to stop Fairies, but this will be able to do that as well with Poison type moves at the very least. So hopefully this little Buddy or this Stunky can put in some work. We've got Togepi here. We had to grab stuff from the D tier, and the D tier was like pretty trash. Like the Pokemon there were really bad. I actually think Leo drafted one of the better D tier Pokemon in Togepi. Togepi is not very good generally with its stats, but it is a Fairy type, and it does get access to Nasty Plot, which allows it to be a setup Pokemon, which is kind of... There's not a ton of really good setup Pokemon, I think, in the format generally, especially in like the lower tiers. So I think Togepi was like a really good snag. It's got okay moves, nothing too crazy, but it is a pure Fairy type, and it does have the ability to, like I said, set up Nasty Plots and potentially take advantage of Serene Grace if you get lucky with a couple different moves. So I felt like it was a really solid pick. I didn't want to change it. Just having a Fairy type is solid in general, and again, you know, it's pretty bulky, and there wasn't much good stuff in that low D tier, so it wasn't like there was a ton to work with. Fennekin was his next pick, and I was a little hesitant about Fennekin, but I kind of understand the logic. So Fennekin provides a fire type, which the team otherwise wouldn't have, but what it primarily does is it has the ability Magician. And Magician will steal the opponent's item after your item has been kind of consumed or used or whatever, and I think that that's super sick actually, because in Little Cup, items are so important. When you have things like Eviolite and Berry Juice and things like that that really are generally going to be beneficial for every Pokemon. It's not like you're going to run into a ton of choice bands. So being able to steal items, I think, is just such a valuable thing. And I think when Leo grabbed Fennekin, that was kind of his logic. Let me use this thing to try to steal some items from my opponent, potentially, you know, take an Eviolite from them, make him a little bit more frail or whatever it may be. It is pure fire type, which I think is kind of cool, and it's a cute Pokemon, little fox dude. So that was kind of the idea behind Fennekin. It does get some psychic moves as well, but generally its purpose is going to be able to use that Magician ability to steal items from the opponent and kind of use that to its advantage. We've also got Bunnelby here, which I thought was a really solid pick. Bunnelby does get access to that huge power, which is really sick. So it's got a double attack stat. It's got a decent speed stat, nothing crazy, but it does get Earthquake still, despite being a pure normal type. It does get Return, Quick Attack, U-Turn. Unfortunately, it does not get Knockoff, which is such a huge bummer, because if it got Knockoff, it would be so much better. But Bunnelby is one of the better choice Scarfers in the tier. It just hits so hard because of its attack stat. Its ability makes it like hit really hard. So you know, it's a pretty straightforward Pokemon, and I think it'll form like a really good offensive core with Mienfoo and Doduo. I really like that combination. So Mienfoo really has that glue for the team, and then things like Bunnelby just can kind of put in some work. So I really like kind of the synergy that he drafted here, and I think Bunnelby is just a really cool Pokemon, especially with that priority quick attack, which I really value. And then last but not least was LGM, which I really like LGM. I think it's a super cool Pokemon. It's a Psychic type. It does have Analytics, so it's a little bit slower, and then it can fire off really big attacks with that Analytic boost. And it's got a crazy special attack stat, and it's relatively bulky, so I kind of was pretty pumped about that. It's a really cool looking Pokemon too. I love its design. So kind of with all that considered, I thought it was like a really solid pick to get a Psychic type towards the end there, despite the fact that, you know, Knockoff does run pretty rampant in the format. I thought it was a really cool pick. So in terms of the team, I honestly feel like like I said, I'm not like super rehearsed in Little Cup generally, but I really felt like the team was good. Like Mienfoo, Dodo, and Mudbray is like a really good combination. I just feel like offensively and defensively, those 3 Pokemon synergize incredibly well together, and I think that he did a really good job kind of mixing some pieces together. I think like Bunnelby is really valuable. I think Omanite and Stunky are actually really good in this format too. Again, there's a couple pieces that are like, you know, but everyone had to grab, you know, some lower tier stuff. So if I had drafted the team, I probably would have went a little bit of a different direction, but honestly, like, all things said and done, I feel like he had a great draft, and that was really one of the main reasons that I decided that I was going to try to play. If I didn't like the team, I wouldn't have taken the team, you know, I wouldn't have felt comfortable doing that. But I really like what he had. I really felt like the Mienfoo, Dodo, and Mudbray trio was just really valuable, and it's going to be really difficult for opponents to deal with. So either way, like I said, I'm going into this season just trying to have fun. Little Cup is, in my opinion, not meant to be taken seriously, so we're just going to have a good time with it. I know the competition level in this league is really, really high. They added a lot of different players that are super adept at battling, and that's great. I love a challenge, but again, I'm not going to like have the time nor dedicate a ton of time to like learning Little Cup. Just being totally honest, like I'll probably mess around a little bit, but you know, it's just for fun. So, you know, we did pretty well last time, and it's not that different of a format. You just kind of have to get used to the fact that you're level 5 and the items are a little bit different and things like that, but it's not too big of an adjustment. I think we'll be all right. And we have a Pokemon that I was super, super good with, which is Mienfoo. I really felt comfortable using that Pokemon the last time I had it in Little Cup UCL. So pretty excited moving forward, and I think it'll be a lot of fun, man. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't see the draft, it was on Kyle A's stream. I'm not sure if it's gonna be uploaded anywhere, but I know Kyle was hosting it, so I'll try to put a link in the description if they upload it at some point. But otherwise, guys, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. Big shout out to my man Leo for drafting it, and sorry that he wasn't able to compete, but it kind of works out for us that we took over the team and we're able to kind of move forward with it. So hopefully we'll have a good season. We'll have some fun. I hope you guys are excited for some Little Cup matches coming up. Should be a good time. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace. Thanks so much for checking out my last video. If you like that one, you'll definitely like this one, and be sure to subscribe for more as I post Pokemon videos every single day.